All right, have a seat. Cross your legs in the center of your shins, feet beneath your knees. Be mindful of how you place your legs and how you place your feet. There's the version, most of you have been taught, where you really push your heels out and you want the bottoms of your feet parallel to the side walls. There's the other version where you turn the feet up so you really loosen the groins. There's also the middle version. And there are benefits of all of them. And sometimes we'll teach that specific one. And it's important whichever you choose. So I'm not going to teach a specific one today. I want you to choose it for you. But know which one you're choosing. Maybe you want to try all of them and then pick one at the end. But you want to bring a consciousness, a mindfulness to what you are doing. So for me, the one where I push my heels out, it's a harder version for me, and I'm seeking more peacefulness these days as we approach the post-pandemic, still pandemic, almost post, we hope. Find the even balance of your sits bones. And notice that in the end, it's not just the movement of the hips. What else needs to adjust in order to achieve that for you today, your body? Lengthen through the inner thighs, from the inner thighs through the inner knees, from the upper inner thighs back towards the abdomen, the whole inner groin lengthening. From the inner knees to the lower abdomen. And descend the flesh of the inner thighs down. At the same time, draw from the outer knees to the outer hips, compact the hips together. But as you compact the hips together, again, making sure that you're not gripping the inner legs. So can you find an opening in the inner legs while you are contracting the outer legs and compacting the hips? And noticing how those actions affect the torso, the abdomen, the breath. Draw the front bottom ribs towards the back body as you lengthen through the side ribs, from the hips through the armpits, find a lengthening, evening out the two sides of the body. Allowing the shoulders to drop down away from your ears, away from the sides of your neck. Find a lengthening from your armpits to your inner elbows, what we call the groin of the arms. And as your elbows draw down, bring your palms together with your thumbs at your chest. Let your facial features completely release, relax, let go as you rest your eyes into your cheekbones. Gazing at the seat of your heart, the seat of your soul. Taking a moment to witness, to observe this experience. How is this experience different than when you first sat down? How is the experience of the breath different than from when you first sat down? And let's chant the syllable Om 3 times together. Exhaling completely, deep inhalation. Om. 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 Lifting your sternum towards the ceiling, lower your chin towards your heart. Release your hands onto your thighs with your palms up. With your eyes closed, raise your head. From the back of your head, gently let your eyes open. Straighten the legs. Oh, and by the way, so Laura, she's there, she's observing, she's going through teacher training, she's observing, she's not watching you, she's watching me. So she's just going to be here in the background. Hands by your hips or fingertips by your hips. Heels together, toes together, little toes move back towards you. Watch those knees. Even here, it's not as easy here. It doesn't make as much sense, but still think the shin bones up as you press the thighs down. And at home, and once we can use the soft props again, you take a rolled blanket and put them under your knees, and that helps. But we can't do that here today. Soon. Press the thigh bones down, not the knees, the thighs. Lengthen from the inner thighs out to the inner knees, out to the inner heels. From the tops of the thighs, there is a drawing back towards the abdomen. So the whole groin is lengthening, and then the action continues out through the inner heels. Descend the flesh of the inner thighs, draw from your outer knees to your outer hips, compact your hips together. Draw the front bottom ribs towards the back body as you lengthen through the side ribs. The abdomen does draw back towards the spine. So allow the abdomen to draw back. Watch the shoulders, George. Drop the shoulders down. Separate your legs. Your choice whether you want to be on a lift or on the floor, but ensure that your kneecaps point up and your toes point straight up. Same actions from the upper inner thighs, extend out through the inner knee, through the inner ankle, through the balls of the big toes. From the upper inner thighs, draw back towards the abdomen as well. So the upper inner thighs go in both directions, and then the energy flows out through the inner leg. The flesh of the inner thighs descends down. Draw from the outer knees to the outer hips, compact the hips together. So again, we're looking for that compacting of the hips while we're lengthening, extending, opening the inner legs. Try just fingertips. And don't press hard. Draw the front bottom ribs towards the back body as you lift and lengthen up through the side ribs. Try not to lean forward or back, but maintain the shoulders over the hips. There is a back bend version of this pose. There is a forward bend version of this pose. But again, we want to, if we're doing a back bend, do a back bend. If we're doing a forward bend, do a forward bend. But right now, we're in the center. Take your hands on the inside of your knees, pull to come up, take your feet together. I'm going to use a strap today, so if you want, you can put the strap, put it underneath your feet. Of course, if you're on the floor, then you take your hands underneath your feet, and that's fine. If you're on the floor with your hands underneath your feet, make sure you are not pulling your feet up, but you're pushing your feet into your hands and your hands into the floor. And that helps the lifting of the side ribs. That's it, nice. Press the heels together. Roll the upper arms out. That gives more space for the side ribs. Roll the upper arms out. Press the heels. Lengthen through the inner thighs. So from the inner thighs through the inner knees, move the knees away from each other. At the tops of the thighs, there is still the drawing back towards the lower abdomen. But then the energy flows out through the knees The knees move away from each other. It's not about getting the knees down towards the floor. It's about moving the knees further away from each other. That's the opening. The effect of that is the knees may come down. Draw from the outer knees to the outer hips, compact the hips together. Ensure the front bottom ribs are towards the back body as you lengthen through the side ribs. Again, turning the upper arms out creates more space for the side ribs. Observe. Release. Take your hands on the outside of your knees. Push your legs together. Take hold behind one knee. Draw the flesh towards the buttocks. Drag the heel, straighten the leg. Other knee, draw the flesh towards the buttocks. Drag the heel, straighten the leg. Back to Dandasana. Hands by your hips. Thigh bones down, not the knees, the thighs. Lengthening through the inner leg, drawing from the outer knees to the outer hips. And release. Put the blocks, or if you're sitting on something, put them to the side. Lie back, take your strap. So lie back with the strap. Legs bent, feet on the floor. Supta Padangusthasana. Bend your right leg into your chest. Put the strap around your foot where the heel meets the arch, and straighten your leg. No death grips on the strap, hold very gently. So left leg is bent, right leg is straight. Soften your shoulders, your outer shoulder bones move towards the floor. The upper arms still rotate from the inside out. With your heel over your hip, ensure that your kneecap points forward. So for most of us, that means you have to turn the thigh in. And we're still pressing the thigh bone back. Be careful for the knee pressing back. Be careful for just pushing the shin bone back. Press your thigh bone back. The lower back stays on the ground. Lengthen from the upper inner thigh, through the inner knee, through the inner ankle, push through the ball of the big toe. Same action. From the upper inner thigh, there is a drawing back towards the abdomen. But you want to lengthen the inner leg out through the ball of the big toe. The ball of the big toe is the peak of the pose. Extend the inner leg more and more as time goes on. The flesh of the inner thigh moves back from the front of the leg towards the back of the leg, and draw from your outer knee to your outer hip. You want to take the right hip away from your right shoulder so the two sides of your torso are equal in length. When you do that, you may find you turn the thigh out. So you have to turn the thigh back in, press the thigh back, and take the hip with it. Soften your shoulders. No death grips on the strap. And bend your legs, switch legs. Left leg up. Right leg is bent, left leg is up. Turn the thigh in so that the kneecap points forward. Soft grip with your hands. Press the thigh bone back. Keep the lower back on the floor. Extend from the inner thigh through the inner knee, through the inner ankle, push through the ball of the big toe. From the upper inner thigh, there is a drawing back towards the abdomen. But we're looking to extend the inner leg more and more as time goes on. Broaden across the foot. Draw from your outer knee to your outer hip. The flesh of the inner thigh does move from the front of the leg to the back of the leg. Draw from the outer knee to the outer hip. Sit that left buttock down as you extend through the inner left leg more. Take the left outer hip away from your shoulder so the two sides of your torso are equal in length. If that turns your thigh out, turn the thigh back in, press the thigh back, take the hip with it. Bend your legs, switch legs. Right leg up. So left leg is bent, right leg is up. Turn the thigh in, press the thigh back. Put the strap where the heel meets the arch today. Put the strap where the heel meets the arch. It strengthens the hip. It draws a line down towards the hip. You could do it at the balls of the toes. You can do. I've even been taught in the center of the sole of the foot. Not that one's not my favorite, but I've seen it taught. But there's a connection where when the heel meets, when you put it where the heel meets the arch, there's a connection through the bone to the hip. Ensure the kneecap points forward. Press the thigh bone back. Lengthen through the inner leg. Push through the ball of the big toe. Broaden across the foot. Draw from your outer knee to your outer hip. So it's like a circle of energy flowing around your leg. Now drag your left heel on the floor, straighten your left leg, 2 straight legs. Turn the left thigh in. Press the left thigh bone down. No, right leg up, left leg on the floor. That's it. Good, Carla. So both thighs are pressing back. Soften your shoulders. So the right one back, left one down. The femur bone moving from the front of the leg towards the back of the leg. Lengthen through the inner legs. Even though the legs are in different directions, can you have an experience that they're doing similar, if not same things? So there's a lengthening through the inner legs. The flesh of the inner thighs moves from the front of the leg to the back of the leg. Draw from your outer knees to your outer hips as you compact your hips together on both legs. Take the right outer hip away from your right shoulder so the 2 sides of your torso are equal in length. Soften the shoulders, soften your hands, soften your face. Keep the work of the legs. The abdomen descends towards the spine. This is also an abdominal pose, Supta Padangusthasana 1. We are going to be doing some back bends today, different ones than we did the other day. And you need your abdomen to work here. Then your legs, switch legs. Right leg is bent, left leg is up. Soft hands, soft shoulders. We're working the legs, we're opening the hamstrings. But you don't want to take all that tension from the hamstrings and just move them into your neck shoulders or into your face or even into your hands. Press the thigh bone back, left thigh. The kneecap points forward, press the thigh bone back. Lengthen through the inner leg. So from the upper inner thigh, there's a drawing back towards the abdomen. And then from the upper inner thigh, there's a lengthening through the inner knee, through the inner ankle, push through the ball of the big toe. The inner leg lengthens more and more as time goes on. Broaden across the foot. Draw from your outer knee to your outer hip. The left outer hip moves away from the shoulder. Now, when you straighten the right leg, your foot is going to want to move away from your face. Your left hip is going to want to move towards your shoulder. So keep the left hip moving away from your shoulder. Keep the foot just where it is. Drag your right heel on the floor, straighten your right leg. Turn the right thigh in. Press both thighs back. Legging through both legs. Again, we're trying to now have the right leg mirror everything you've done with the left leg. Now you want to mirror that on the right leg. So both thighs press back. Lengthen both inner legs. The flesh of the inner thighs moving from the front of the leg to the back of the leg. Drawing from your outer knees to your outer hips as you compact your hips together. The left outer hip moving away from your shoulder. Supta Padangusthasana 1. Supta is supported. Pada is foot. Gusta is big toe. In the final pose, there's no strap. You're holding your big toe with your hand. So it's supported foot big toe pose. And this is Supta Padangusthasana 1, so it's version 1. Put both legs in the strap. Urdhva Prasarita Padasana, 90 degrees. So Urdhva is upward. Prasarita is extended. And Pada again is foot. So upward extended foot, and we're at 90 degrees. Soft hands, soft shoulders. Now, some of you are going to do this in a moment without a strap. Of course, if you need the strap, you can use the strap the whole time. But this takes a lot of abdominal work. So take your abdomen and move your abdomen towards your spine. Because Iyengar would say, iron the abdomen to the spine. Iron the lower back to the floor. Keep pressing the thighs back, extend through the inner legs, yes. Draw from the outer knees to the hips, yes. But iron your abdomen down towards your spine. Soft face. You cannot hold your legs up with your face. You can try it. If you figure out how to do it, please teach me, because I tried it, never worked. And bend your legs. Take your feet on the floor. If you know you're going to use the strap, just keep the strap. Otherwise, you're going to put your strap to the side. Take your thumbs, interlock your thumbs together, and extend your arms overhead. Bend your legs into your chest. Extend through the arms. Flex your toes first. That begins the ripping of the abdomen. Now iron the abdomen to the spine and straighten your legs towards 90 degrees. If you want to use the strap to do it, use the strap. No problem. Abdomen down. Straighten the legs. Straighten the legs. Extend through the arms, extend through the legs. So legs up if they go up, George. Legs up. There you go. Soften your hands. This is 90 degrees. Extend through the arms, extend through the legs. Abdomen down, lower back down. Now take your legs to 60 degrees. Easier to straighten the legs for those that have difficulty straightening the legs, but of course, more abdominal work. Legs together if they go together. Actually, if you squeeze the thighs together, it's easier. Abdomen down, lower back down. Back up to 90. Abdomen down, lower back down. Back down to 60. I didn't know it was going to be one of those days either. Abdomen down, lower back down, extend through the legs. Back up to 90. Abdomen down, lower back down. Back down to 60. Back up to 90. Bend your legs, put your feet on the floor, release and relax, let go. Straighten your legs on the floor. Interlock your thumbs the opposite way overhead. Extending the whole body. Urdhva Prasarita Tadasana, 0 degrees. Interlocking the thumbs. Thumbs, George. Thumbs, so the fingers are spreading apart. Wide fingers. Feet together, heels together, toes together. Your body's flat on the floor. Flat on the floor. 0 degrees. Thighs down. Extend through the inner legs. Extend through the inner arms. Watch those ribs. Some of you, the ribs tend to pop up towards the ceiling. Take the front bottom ribs towards the back body, towards the floor. The abdomen descends towards your spine and comes up underneath the bottom ribs. Extend through the inner legs, through the inner arms. Draw from your outer knees to outer hips. Draw from your outer elbows to your shoulders. And as you create more distance, take those little toes back towards you. Bottoms of your feet are in one straight line. As you create more distance between your heels and your fingertips, becoming longer, can you really think of it as creating more space on the inside through which your breath can flow? It's not just about the distance. The length is creating more space through which your breath can flow. Soft face, soft jaw, soft throat. And release and relax. Let your legs go. Take your arms out to the sides with your palms up. Your palms down are more comfortable. It's more comfortable. You can take your palms down. Take a few breaths here. Breathe into your shoulders, breathe into your hips. Breathe into your shoulders. Breathe into your hips. Bend your legs, roll to the right, come on up. Come up to standing. Come up to Tadasana. Feet together. If you prefer feet hip distance apart, then feet hip distance apart. Otherwise, if your feet are together, it's heels together, balls of the toes together, maybe the toes themselves, depending how much you can spread your toes apart. That's different for each of us. Balance evenly on the 2 feet. Hips over your heels, shoulders over your hips. Watch the knees, Carla. Thigh bones back. Lift from the outer knees to the outer hips, compact the hips together. Lengthen from the inner knees through the lower abdomen. Now watch those front bottom ribs. The front bottom ribs move towards the back body. That does engage the abdomen. It's okay, you can have a working abdomen. Lengthen from the hips through the armpits. Draw the shoulders down, extend through the arms. Take your arms out to the sides, drop the shoulders. Are you holding your arms up from your armpits or your shoulders? Hold your arms up from your armpits. From the center of your sternum, extend out through your thumbs. From between the shoulder blades, extend out through your pinky fingers. Watch the leaning back bob. From your armpits, rotate the arms up until your palms are up. Drop the shoulders. Did you notice your front ribs went forward? Mine did too. Take the front bottom ribs back, and from your armpits, push your arms up. Opening the shoulders. The shoulders drop down as the arms go up. Straighten the arms. Arms up now, Bob. Front bottom ribs back. Are you still balanced evenly on your feet? So much going on here. We have to begin to spread the awareness. Not just move the awareness from one place to the other, but we need to learn over time to spread the awareness so that our awareness touches different parts of the body. Ultimately, as B.K. Iyengar says, each and every cell of the body. George, turn your triceps towards your nose. There you go, good. Turn your hands out to the sides. Exhale, come down. Interlace your fingers together, turn your palms out. Front bottom ribs towards the back body. Push the webbing of the fingers together. Thighs are still pressing back. There's still the lengthening of the inner legs, the lifting from the outer knees to the outer hips. Inhale, take the arms up. Watch those ribs. They're going to want to come forward. So keep the front bottom ribs moving back. As you take the arms up, you can lift the arms in, whatever excessive that lifting for you today. My arms aren't quite by my ears. It's okay. We practice kindness first. First kindness to ourselves, kindness to our bodies. Press to the feet, extend to the wrists. Hold it with the arms into your ears. Shoulders are down, the wrists move up. Interlace your fingers together the opposite way. Turn your palms out. Push the webbing of the fingers together. Front bottom ribs back. Inhale, come up. Keep those ribs. Front bottom ribs back. And the right. Back, ribs back. Back, ribs back. Your arms out to the sides. Tadasana, arms forward this time. Draw your shoulder bones into the shoulder sockets. Front bottom ribs back, thighs back. From your shoulder blades, from the base of your shoulder blades, push your arms up. From the base of your shoulder blades, push your arms up. Front bottom ribs back still. Triceps towards your arms. Extend through your fingers. Shoulders down. Turn your hands out to the sides. Exhale, come down. One more time, arms forward. Draw the shoulder bones to the shoulder sockets, front, bottom, ribs back. When you move the arms, see if you can move them at the same speed, the same pace. Try not to move one arm faster than the other. That is a practice. Take the front, bottom, ribs back. Inhale, take the arms up. You have to really look at them. Can they move evenly at the same pace? For me, that takes an amazing amount of awareness. Otherwise, one arm always leads unless I truly pay attention. Shoulders down, arms up. Front, bottom, ribs back. Squeeze the biceps and triceps to the bone, right? We were working on that the other day. That's still there. Turn your hands out to the sides. Exhale, come down. Shoulders down, extend through the arms. We teach a Kanasana, triangle pose. Take your fingertips up by your chest. Bend your legs. Jump or step your feet apart. Wide legs, the feet are below your hands as your arms are extended. Drop your shoulders. Are you holding your arms up from your armpits or your shoulders? Hold them up from your armpits. Balance evenly on the 2 feet. Turn your left foot in, turn your right leg out. Take your front heel in line with your back arch. Press the outer rim of your back heel. Turn the front thigh out. Lift both outer knees to outer hips. Compact the hips together. Now press into the outer rim of the back heel. Resist with your back arm as well. Okay, so you press into the back heel. Resist with your back arm, your left arm. Inhale, exhale, come down. Keep pressing into the back heel. Turn that front thigh out. Although make sure that as you turn the front thigh out, you're still pressing into the ball of the front big toe. Lift from your outer knees to your outer hips. Compact your hips together. Rotate the torso. Right ribs forward, left ribs back. Imagine you're leaning against the wall. Take your whole torso and the back of your head against your imaginary wall. Extend the arms away from each other. Reach with your top arm. Resist with your bottom arm. Pull yourself up and out. Parallel your feet. Remember, coming out of the pose is the pose. Right foot in, left leg out. Press into the outer rim of the back heel. Make sure your front heel is in line with your back arch. Press into the outer rim of your back heel. Turn this front thigh from the inside out, still pressing through the ball of the front big toe. Lift from your outer knees to your outer hips. Now maintain that in the legs. Don't just move the awareness, spread the awareness. Reach through your back arm, press into your back heel, inhale, exhale, come down. Press into the back heel. Turn the front thigh from the inside out. Lift from the outer knees to the outer hips. Rotate the torso. Lean back against the imaginary wall with your whole torso at the back of your head. And extend your arms away from each other. Bob, to bring to your awareness, you're doing this with your wrist. So try and have your hand, your wrist trace or your hand come, the top arm. There you go. Pull with your top arm. Resist with the bottom. Pull yourself up and out. Parallel your feet. Jump or step your feet together. Tadasana. Fingertips up. Bend your legs. Jump or step your feet apart. Take your hands on your hips for a moment. Turn your left foot in. Turn your right leg out. Front heel in line with your back arch. Press the outer rim of the back heel. So the instruction in the front leg, the main instruction is turn the front thigh out until the knee is in line with the top of the foot. We don't always talk about the foot, but the foot's the base of the pose, right? So what happens in the foot is actually more important. Then you have to press into the ball of the big toe. The lower leg actually turns in so that you can press through the ball of the big toe as the front leg turns out. So I really want you to get an awareness for what the front leg is doing. Because otherwise you get into the ankle and you start, turning is not the right word, but you start putting the ankle into a position you don't want it in. It's not secure. So yes, turn the front thigh out, but can you also turn the lower leg in as you press through the ball of the big toe? Parallel your feet. Right foot in, left leg out. Front heel in line with your back arch. Press the back heel. Turn the front thigh out. Yes, knee in line with the top of the foot. This leg's going to feel different for most of you than the other leg. But as you notice, when you turn the front thigh out, do you notice that the weight goes to the outer foot? Does that happen to you? It happens to me unless I really begin to pay attention to the foot. So turn the front thigh out and then turn the lower leg in without turning the upper leg in. Turn the lower leg in and press into the ball of the front big toe. And can you begin to have the understanding that the lower leg and the upper leg are both working at the same time? That it's not one or the other. And it's pressing into the ball of the big toe, not the toe. So the toes aren't gripping. You should easily be able to just pick the toes up. No big deal. Won't change anything. And yes, there's a lifting from the outer knees to the outer hips. Bend the leg parallel your feet over to the other side. Right foot in, left leg out. Left foot in, right leg out. Front heel in line with your back arch. Press the outer rim of the back heel. Turn the front thigh from the inside out. And for those of you that do have very open hips, you actually need to be more cautious than those of us with tight hips. You have to turn it from the inside out until your knee is in line with the top of your foot and then no further. Some people then once they get the flexibility, begin to go too much. Turn the lower leg in. Press through the ball of the big toe as you turn the front thigh out. And then as you press through the ball of the big toe, there's a lifting from the outer knee to the outer hip. So there's a pressing down through the foot and a lifting from the outer knee to the outer hip. And when I really pay attention and do this pose in this way, I still feel it in my hip, that my hip is opening. 20 years, 21 years, I don't know. I can't do the math anymore. A bunch of years of yoga. But the hip's still opening. Granted, I started out with very tight hips. Still have very tight hips. Extend the arms. Press into the back heel. Press through the ball of the big toe as you lift from the outer knee to the outer hip. Now keep the legs. Don't lose the legs. Inhale. Exhale. Come down. Take your top hand onto your hip. We're going to work the legs again. So press into the back heel. Don't lose that. Watch your back knee, Carla. Turn the front thigh out, yes. And at the same time, turn the lower leg in, press the ball of the front big toe. Can you combine those actions ultimately into one? That they're not two actions, but they become one action. And as you press into the ball of the big toe, lift from the outer knee to the outer hip. Moving, literally, the real literally, not the fake literally, the real literally moving your femur bone deeper into your hip socket. And then maintain that in the legs as you lean back. Lean on that wall behind you. The right ribs move forward, the left ribs move back. Again, you don't want to overdo that. All right, so you have to imagine you're leaning flat against a wall. And then finish the form of the pose by extending your arm up. And then finish the actual pose by observing. Pull yourself up and out. Parallel your feet. Right foot in, left leg out. Press through the outer rim of the back heel. Turn the front thigh out. Turn the lower leg in. Press through the ball of the big toe. So the lower leg and the upper leg are doing opposite actions, but can you make them one action? As you press through the ball of the big toe, lift from the outer knee to the outer hip, move the femur bone into the hip socket. Now maintain the legs, both outer knees to outer hips, both front and back leg lifting. Inhale, exhale, come down. Take your top hand on your hip and let's reestablish the legs. Top hand on your hip. Press into the outer rim of the back heel. Turn the front thigh out. As you turn the lower leg in and press through the ball of the big toe. And as you press through the ball of the big toe, lift from your outer knee to your outer hip, moving the femur bone into your hip socket. And then you have to maintain that awareness on your legs. Don't move the awareness. Spread it. Lean back. The left ribs move forward. The right ribs move back. The whole torso leans back on the imaginary wall behind you. The head too, Carla. Let the head, the back of your head is in line with the buttocks, which is in line with the back of the back heel. Now finish the form of the pose by extending the top arm up. Then finish the pose itself by observing. Pull yourself up and out. Parallel your feet, jump or step your feet together. Tadasana, you're still in a pose. You're not between poses. Thighs back. If you're going into your knees, it's shin bones forward and thighs back. Lengthen through the inner leg. Lift from your outer knees to your outer hips. Lifting through the torso. Watch those ribs bob. Front, bottom ribs back. Extend through the arms, shoulders down. A real Tadasana. Virabhadrasana 1, warrior pose 1. First to the back bends, fingertips up, bend your legs, jump or step your feet apart. Take your hands on your hips. Turn your left foot in, turn your right leg out. Now we need to turn the whole torso towards the side of the room. So pick up your back heel, take your left hip forward, and place the back heel down. Take the left hip forward. Take the left ribs forward so that your torso is squared towards the side of the room. The back thigh does turn in here. And the back thigh does press back, but be extra careful not to go into the knee. It's easier in this, for me anyway, in this pose to take it in the back knee. So you have to get the back thigh moving back, not the knee moving back. Lift your outer knees to your outer hips, compact your hips together. Now we bend the front leg in this pose. But before you go to bend the front leg, remember the abdominal work we were doing before? So we did it for this pose. Draw your abdomen in and lift your abdomen up towards your chest. The front bottom ribs also move in. Inhale, on your exhalation, bend the front leg. Knee over your ankle. Oh, knee over your ankle, thigh parallel to the floor. Draw your front bottom ribs back. Draw your abdomen in and up. Now bring your shoulder blades into the body. Bring your shoulder blades into the body. Extend your arms forward. And from the base of your shoulder blades, push your arms up. Perhaps your head looks up if you have space in your sideways. If the sideways are not there, otherwise you look straight forward, and that's fine. Observe your pose. Imagine you enjoy it. Arms out to the sides. Take your hands on your hips. Take a breath. Turn your right foot in. Turn your left leg out. Pick up your back heel. Take that right hip forward now and place the heel down. So the right hip moves forward. Square the hips. See if you can get that right hip more forward, Carla. And if you turn the back thigh in, that helps take the hip forward, right? So the back thigh turns in to help take that hip forward. And Carly, you can turn the back foot further in. So instead of having your foot at 60 degrees, you turn it in a little bit more to about 30 degrees. And that gives you more space to bring to turn the thigh in and to bring the right hip forward. Lift from your outer knees to your outer hips, compact your hips. By the way, the lengthening of the groins, knees to the abdomen, still there. Front bottom ribs back. Draw your abdomen towards your spine. Draw your abdomen up towards your chest. Inhale, exhale, bend the front leg, 90-degree angle, knee over the ankle, thigh parallel to the floor. And as soon as you do that, that right hip goes back. So take the right hip forward. Right, so turn the back thigh in, the right hip comes forward, the right ribs come forward. Front ribs back, draw your abdomen in and up. And then take your arms halfway up, take your shoulder blades into the body. And use your shoulder blades, the base of your shoulder blades. The right hip still moving forward. Draw the abdomen in and up. Extend those arms up. Head can look up if there's length in the side ribs, or simply looking forward. And then reach through those arms. Come up, parallel your feet, arms out to the sides. Jump or step your feet together. Tadasana. Front bottom ribs back. Observe. Fingertips up. Bend your legs, jump or step your feet apart. Drop your shoulders. Hold your arms up from your armpits. Hands on hips. Turn your left foot in, turn your right leg out. Pick up your back heel, take that left hip forward, take the back heel down, square your hips. So left hips forward, left ribs forward. Abdomen, well, front ribs back, abdomen in and up. Keep the abdomen lifting, keep the chest lifting, bring the shoulder blades in, inhale, exhale, come down. Knee over the ankle, thigh parallel to the floor. Take that left hip forward again, left ribs forward, abdomen in and up. Now listen, when you go to take your arms up, what most of us end up doing is we begin to lift the right buttocks, and we begin to take the right leg closer to straight. Don't do that. Sink the right buttock down as the arms go up. So ribs back, abdomen in and up. Now take the arms forward. Draw the shoulder bones into the shoulder sockets, still lifting the abdomen up. Now drop your right buttock down as the arms go up. Drop your right buttock down as the arms go up, so that you get more space in your side ribs, both sides. Drop the buttock down another inch. Lift your arms up another inch. Observe your pose. Imagine this is your favorite pose in the whole world. Reach through your arms. Parallel your feet, arms out to the sides, hands on hips. Take a breath. Other side, right foot in, left leg out. Pick up the back heel, take that right hip forward, place the back heel down. Right hip forward, right ribs forward. Front ribs back, abdomen in and up, shoulder blades in. Start all that here. Inhale, exhale, bend the front leg. Keep the abdomen in and up. Keep the front bottom ribs moving back. Shoulder blades in. Now remember, when you go to take the arms up, I want you to drop the buttock down. So take your arms forward, draw the shoulder bones into the shoulder socket. The action's from the base of the shoulder blades. Drop your left buttock down. Sink into it. Drop the buttock down as the arms go up. Drop the buttock down as the arms go up. And now drop your buttock down another inch and extend your arms another inch. Become longer. And observe your pose. Arms out to the sides. Jump or step your feet together. Tadasana. Right back into Tadasana. So thighs back. Lengthen through the inner groins. Lift from the outer knees to the outer hips. Compact the hips. Lift up through the side ribs. Extend through the arms. Soft face, soft jaw. Imagine this is your favorite pose. And release. Everybody take a chair. You're going to take the chair behind you. We're setting up for a version of Ustrasana, camel pose. So this is how, I'll show you from the side so you can see what I'm doing. So my legs are going under the chair. See that? So my feet are under the chair, and my hands will be on the seat of the chair. I'll do it this way. So my hands are on the seat of the chair. You can come on your knees. Come on your knees. Tops of the feet down. That's okay. And if you want to come forward, so your feet are also on the mat too, if that's more comfortable, George, you can do that. All right. Knees hip distance apart. Now, I don't have a good, clear vision of everybody at home, but those who have been in classes when I teach this know that for most people, I'm telling you to take your knees closer together because you have your knees by your outer hips, and I want your knees underneath your hip sockets. So at home, you guys got to look at yourselves and go, is my knee underneath my hip socket, not underneath my outer hip bone? And then look at your legs, tops of the feet down, and see that your legs are going back in a straight line. They're like railroad tracks, completely parallel, that the feet are not closer together than the knees. You can begin leaning back. Just take your hands on the chair. Don't take your hips back when you come to the chair. So the hips stay over the knees. Did you notice your front bottom ribs begin to stick out? Take your front bottom ribs towards the back body. Keep your chin tucked. And then take your shoulder blades in and begin to lift and lengthen to the sideways. Press your shins down. Press your shins down into the floor. Keep your chin tucked and get the length in the side ribs this first time. You can adjust your hands. So I just moved my hands further back because I didn't really like where they were. So you can find a more comfortable place for your hands. You might even need to move the chair itself forward or back, and that's totally fine. Keep the chin tucked, and as you press the shins down, can you lift from the outer knees to the outer hips? Can you lengthen from the inner knees through the lower abdomen, even right over through the chest? And bring the shoulder blades into the body. Chin is still tucked. Bring the shoulder blades into the body to lift the chest. Pushing your hands into the chair. Now, when you come out, press your shins down. You'll take your chest up first. Lead with your chest. Your chest comes up, and then come back to neutral. All right. The words making sense? Everybody got it? Because we're doing it again. This time, we'll take the head back, but not at the beginning. I want you to start with your chin tucked. So you can begin to lean back with taking your hands on the chair, but don't take your hips with it. Right? It's not that you're leaning your legs back. Your shoulders begin to come back so that your hands can come onto the chair, but your hips stay over your knees. Press your shins down. Lift from your outer knees to your outer hips. Compact the hips. Lengthen from the inner knees through the lower abdomen, and let that reflect all the way up into the chest, as if you're lengthening from the inner knees all the way through the collarbone. Keep the front bottom ribs towards the back body. That's important here so that you don't harden the diaphragm, and take your shoulder blades into the body and coil your spine. Keep the chin tucked. Coil the spine as much as you can. Get as much length in the side ribs as you can. Bring your shoulder blades into the body as much as you can. Chest towards the ceiling. And at some point, you're going to feel as if you can't keep your chin tucked anymore. Some of you do not take your head back. If it hurts your neck, take your head back, don't. But some of you will feel, I just can't even tuck my chin anymore. And at that point, throw your head back. And try and look down the wall behind you. If this bothers your neck at all, then you keep your chin tucked. Do not take your chin halfway. Coming out, press into your shins, inhale, come up. Right? So what I mean by halfway is you can do the pose here. Right? I'll just do it on my heels just to show you. You can do the pose with the chin tucked into your chest. You can do the pose with your head all the way back. But you don't want to do this one, where it's partially back, because that's just going to tighten up these outer neck muscles, okay? So either chin tucked or chin back. If it doesn't go back all the way, then tuck your chin. I didn't put my head back for, I don't know, 10, 15 years of doing it until I got enough space in my side ribs so that my head would go back easily. So that's what you want to focus on, is this length of the side ribs, which of course reflects as length in the spine. Knees underneath your hip sockets. Tuck your chin, hips over your heels. Oh, the other thing. So when I said to take your hands back, I was very clear not to take your hips back, that the hips stay over the knees. But sometimes then we overcompensate and then we throw the hips forward. Don't throw the hips forward either. So the hips don't go back, the hips don't go forward. They stay directly over the knees. Chin tuck, press your shins down. Lift from your outer to your outer hips. Lengthen from your inner. Feel your abdomen as if you're lifting anything all the way to the collarbone. Take a step on your base, that is important. When the shoulder goes in, that is important. The shoulder blades are lifting the chest now. And at some point for you, if you're getting all that length in the side ribs, more and more as time goes on, you might hit a point where you go, oh, I have to let the head go. Let it go. Let it hang back with its own weight. Let it hang back. The throat then becomes nice and long. Very nice for the throat. And take a moment to observe your pose. Push into the shins. Inhale, come up. Come up to standing. Take your chair on the side of your mat. Take your hands on the chair. Walk your feet back. Downward facing dog pose with the support of the chair. Again, don't have your heel. We were working on this the other day. Have your full hand on the chair. The entire hand is on the chair. Shoulder distance apart, or if you have wider shoulders, as wide as you can get your hands on the chair. Now the action of the arms are the same that we were working the legs in triangle pose. So press through the ball of the first finger and thumb as you rotate the upper arms out, right? So the forearm actually has to rotate in. On your foot, you press the ball of the big toe. Here, you're pressing the ball of the first finger and thumb, just because the hand is arranged slightly differently than the foot in relation to the hand to the arm and foot to the leg. So it's not exactly the same. But press through the ball of the first finger and thumb as you rotate your upper arms out. Toes forward, George. Everyone, make sure your toes are forward. Press the thigh bones back. If the chair is sliding, especially if it's on the mat and sliding, you're pushing too far forward, press down. Press equally down and forward. Downward facing dog is not just a forward action of the arms. It's a downward press into the arms. There is a forward action, but it's a downward action as well. And that will help create the stability. The extent, right? All these poses, we want the stability and the opening. So the pushing forward creates the opening, but the pushing down creates the stability. Press your outer heels down, lift your outer hips up. Soft face, soft jaw. Look up, walk your feet forward. Tadasana. Face any direction you're facing, it's fine. Tadasana. Check in. Eyes back. Ribs in. Lift through the side ribs. Soft face, soft jaw. The skull should be completely relaxed. The mind inside, the brain inside the skull, completely relaxed. Chaya, it could be an optical illusion with the camera, but it looks like your arms, from my angle, looks like your arms are too far back. So arms in line with your hips. Unless someone gave that to you for a therapeutic reason, then of course, do that. And release. Put the chair to the side, lie back on your mat. Arms out to the side, bend your legs, feet on the floor. Bend your legs into your chest. Keep your thighs together. We're going to twist here. Extend through the left fingertips. Inhale. On your exhalation, take your knees towards your right elbow. Keep the thighs together. That means you have to press the right thigh, the lower thigh into the top thigh. Press your right shoulder down to keep the left shoulder down. Turn your abdomen to the left as the knees go to the right. Turn your abdomen to the left as the knees go to the right. There's a turning here. Then take your left outer hip away from your left shoulder. With your bottom leg, push to come up. Come up to center. Take your feet on the floor. Square your hips and square your shoulders. Bend your legs back into your chest. Keep the thighs together. Extend through the right fingertips. Really extend through both fingertips, but we tend to ignore the right side of the body as we go to the left. So extend through the right fingertips. Take your knees towards your left elbow. Thighs stay together as best you can. So the bottom thigh pushes into the top thigh. Press the left shoulder down to keep the right shoulder and shoulder blade down. Turn your abdomen to the right as the knees go to the left. Abdomen to the right as the knees go to the left. With the bottom leg, push to come up. Take your feet on the floor. Square your hips and square your shoulders. Bend your legs back into your chest. Take your hands on the face of your knee. Actually, give yourself a hug first. Give yourself a hug. Draw your thighs in either around your shins or behind your knees. Give yourself a nice hug. Do a loving hug, as if you care. Remembering that the purpose of yoga is to still the fluctuations of the mind so that you can bathe in your own true splendor. And this is a perfect opportunity to bathe in your own true splendor. Then take your hands on the face of your knees. Inhale, take your legs away from you. Let your legs move away from you just a few inches. Exhale, draw the thighs back towards you. So inhale, they move away. Exhale, they move towards you. Just a few breaths like this, massaging the abdomen, massaging the lower back. And on your next inhalation, let your feet come to the floor. Take the flesh of the top of the buttocks and scoop that towards your heels without doing a pelvic tilt. We're just moving the flesh towards the heels. Straighten the legs one at a time. Let the legs fall away from each other. Find a comfortable place for your arms, about 30-degree angles from your body, so there's space in your armpits, but that spacing may be different for you, so pick what works. Traditionally, palms are up, but you have to find the position of your arms that works for you. So maybe you're more on the side. Right? You can have your arms so that your pinky finger is resting on the floor. Some days I will even practice with palms down. This depends on the day for me, what my body is feeling, what I'm needing. Allow the fingers to come to a natural curl. Just let them curl naturally. So you're neither making a fist, nor are you trying to spread the fingers. Same with the feet. Just let them be neutral. Let the arms and the legs flow away from your torso. Picture four streams flowing away from the source. Your arms and your legs are the streams. Your torso is the source. Let your arms and your legs flow away from your torso. Let your torso itself release and relax. Let it descend towards the Mother Earth below you. Let the Mother Earth below you hold you and support you. Release, relax all of your facial features. Let the forehead release and relax. Release, relax your eyebrows and the space between your eyebrows. Rest your eyes into your cheekbone as you release and relax your eyelids, even your eyelashes, each individual eyelash hair, releasing, letting go. The inner corners of your eyes descend towards the center of your skull. The outer corners of your eyes descend towards your temples. Release and relax your temples. Soften your nose, the tip of your nose, the inside walls of your nostrils. Soften your lips, the top lip, bottom lip, corners of your lips. Release, relax your cheeks, the outer cheeks, also the inside of your cheeks, the inside of your mouth. Release, relax your jaw. Let your jawbone move away from the bones of your skull more and more as time goes on. Release, relax your tongue, the tip of your tongue, the way back root of your tongue, where your tongue nears your throat. And release and relax your throat. Release, relax your ears, your outer ears and your inner ears. Draw your inner ears inward and begin to listen to your breath from the inside of your body. You don't need to breathe, the breath will breathe you. As you let go, can you take a step back in your mind's eye and become the observer, the witnesser of the breath as the breath breathes you? Shavasana. Begin slowly coming out of your Shavasana. Take a soft, smooth, peaceful inhalation and a longer, smooth, peaceful exhalation. Wiggle your toes, wiggle your nose. Gently rub your thumb across the tips of your forefingers. When you feel ready, bend your legs, place your feet on the floor with your knees together, feet apart. That helps release the lower back, knees together, feet apart. Slowly and with awareness, take your hands and place them onto your abdomen or onto your chest. We all hold incredible healing power in our hands. Let the healing energy of your hands penetrate your body, pierce through your layers, and heal whatever it is you may need healing with today. When you feel ready, extend your right arm past your right ear, roll to the right. If you want to roll to the left, then roll to the left. Rest your ear into your upper arm, the extended upper arm. Take a few breaths here. And when you feel ready, turn your torso towards the floor, place your top hand on the floor in front of your heart, and push to come up. Come up chest first, head last. Come up to sitting. Cross your legs the opposite way you had them from the beginning of class. Bring your palms together, thumbs at your chest. Draw your eyes back and down as you turn the corners of your lips up, taking a moment to observe your practice. What's different? What's changed? Remember to take your yoga practice with you outside of this room, into the rest of your day, your evening, into all of your interactions with other people, with kindness and with compassion. Kindness and compassion for others, and most importantly, kindness and compassion for yourself. Let's close our practice together by chanting one collective Om. Deep inhalation. Om. Gently let your eyes open. Big smile. Namaste. Bow to the divine within you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody here. Thank you for